Pirates take 4 out of 7 games on this road trip against Milwaukee and Chicago. 6 games behind the Brewers for first place in the NL Central. Just 2 back in the wild card. Yes, it is early. Do you think they can contend for a playoff spot? Did this weekend get your gears spinning? 412-928-9370. Best caller on this subject wins a pair of tickets to see Def Leppard and Journey at PNC Park on July 27th. I'm starting to believe, Dorin. I thought this team would hit coming into the year. I was not a believer in the rotation, though I said if Skenes came up in May that I would be a believer in the rotation. He's done that, and he's looked very good. There aren't enough words, really, to describe his performance through 2 starts thus far. Jared Jones, excellent. Mitch Keller, an ERA of 1.29 in May. He's now rounded totally into form. The Pirates starters go 25 2/3 innings against Chicago. They give up just 5 runs. They strike out 23, an ERA of 1.75. Do you think the Pirates can make the playoffs? 412-928-9370. It's not just that they've got good starting pitching. It's that I look at it and I say, oh, yeah, it's absolutely sustainable. Like, that's what does it for me, Dorin. Like, it's not smoke and mirrors. It's not Bailey Falter's your number 1 starter and you think eventually he's going to turn into a pumpkin. No, whatever you get from him's a plus. He's your 4th or 5th starter right now. I think they can make the playoffs, man.
Is there a split in the rotation? Like, is it? Let me try to ask this question the right way. Like, I couldn't really put together, like, is it going to be Jones, Skenes, Keller, or is it going to be
Jones, Skenes, Falter,
Keller?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather have it differently?
Man.
Because then you can avoid, like, what are the odds that all 3 on back-to-back-to-back starts are bad? Like, somebody's going to be off. It's just going to happen. Somebody's going to be off. But what are the odds that all 3 would be off in 3 days if you have a 3-game stretch is kind of what I'm asking.
Right. I mean, every one of their 5 guys that is in the rotation right now have been very, very good. And we saw Martin Perez have his worst start. He gives up 9 runs. It ballooned his ERA. But on the whole, he's been good this year. Bailey Falter's been really good. I had thought I wanted Falter or Perez in between Jones and Skenes. Because you got really hard thrower, tossing lefty, really hard thrower. I'm not sure it really matters all that much.
No.
Because these guys are just that good. Like I don't think you need to overthink it. I think when you've got these 5 and those big 3 in particular, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter what order you throw them out. I don't think so. And my concern, I guess, was, as I'm thinking back to my old self, I figured Jared Jones would be on a short leash. I figured Skenes would be on a short leash. And so you could really screw the bullpen if you pitch those guys back-to-back. They're letting them go.
Yeah.
Skenes threw 100 pitches.
100 pitches.
And his 100 pitches, 100 miles an hour. I thought they'd treat him with kid gloves. They haven't. They let him throw more pitches in his first start than I thought they'd let him, and they let him go out there for the 5th, which I didn't think they would. And then his second start, no hitter, go out there and throw 100 pitches. So I'm not worried about it.
My question really, too, a second part of the question, like, would that, so say, like, the team that you're going against, would that be tougher to prepare for if you have the 3 ace-ish guys going back-to-back-to-back instead of having, and Billy Falter's playing well. I don't want to just not include him, but, like, would that, for your lineup sake of your team that you're going against, would that change your thought process? Like, I feel like it would be very tough as a team to know that you got 3 aces basically 3 days in a row. And then with Bailey Falter being thrown in on that 3rd day and Mitch Keller on the 4th day, it's kind of like, okay. I think even though he's playing well too, like, I
think the way they've got it lined up right now is working for him.
Yeah.
Because you got Jones throwing 98 with movement. You got Skenes. I read that his fastball, there was one pitch in particular. It's 100 miles an hour with 17 inches of movement.
What?
I mean, get the hell out of here.
What is that? What is that sorcery?
How do you not just laugh?
That's wizard. That's like what? Well, that's Harry Potter and wizard. Like what? 17 inches.
It's a 100-mile-an-hour frisbee. So you go with Jones, who throws 98 up in the zone, and you got Skenes throwing 101 down in the zone, and then I think that's why Bailey Falter was so good on Saturday, man, is because the Cubs
threw him off a little bit.
Yeah. It's 100 for 2 straight games, and then Bailey Falter, whose fastball is is one that you hear people say gets on you quick because of the deception and
The
because
length.
his length, and when he lets go of the ball, he's actually closer to home plate. So he's throwing 91, 92, but that gets on you. But you're probably thinking, 91, 92, this is a walk at the park today. And then it's like a sneaky 91 or 92.
Not bad.
It's why I think like this rotation, if you're using your eyes and you forget about the name on the front of the jersey because people want to do it. Oh, it's the Pirates. They'll find a way to screw it up. If the Reds had this rotation, everyone would be going, oh, dang, like they're going to be a problem, right? If the Padres had this rotation, oh, my God, they're going to be a problem. Forget the name on the front. This rotation is going to be a problem. And this league sucks. The NL sucks. Like the Pirates are 4 games, what are they? 3 games under 500, and they are 2 games back in the wild card. Like they've had a really bad stretch. Here's what you're going to avoid, though, now. If you got these 3 going, and really these 4, and mostly this year these 5, like you're gonna. I think the losing skid that they just weathered, I don't think you're gonna have those.
Right.
Because Jones is a legitimate stopper, and Mr. 17 inches of break is a stopper in and of himself. Like I just don't think we're gonna see these prolonged losing streaks anymore. And maybe I'm pie in the sky. Maybe I'm getting over my skis. But how do you not use your eyes and go, oh yeah, this looks like a playoff rotation?
It does. And I wasn't like going against their process of how they threw out their starting rotation. I was just thinking, in hindsight a little bit, like how another team would feel about going against the 3-headed monster 3 days in a row instead of splitting it up. But I mean, Falter's playing and pitching very, very well. And I think that makes a lot of sense, throwing him in the middle there and kind of almost deception. And it's not even deception. It's just...
It's not fair.
A different guy.
And we talked about this off air, and we're going to take your phone calls at 412-928-9370. You've lined up for us, so we'll talk to you coming up. But, Ben Cherington takes a lot of flack. Rowdy Tellez paying him, first of all, people crushed him for it. And, when you've got Connor Joe in the middle of your lineup for most of the year, in year 5 of your tenure, that is a poor reflection on the general manager. But what you cannot criticize, I don't think, is what he has done piecing together starting rotations. Now, Jones and Skenes, okay. And he inherited Mitch Keller, okay. But Bailey Falter's been really good. Vince Velasquez was excellent before he got hurt last year. Rich Hill was excellent. Jose Quintana he brings in and was very good. Oviedo, they make the trade. I can't believe the Cardinals gave up on that guy, and he's been hurt this year. Imagine if you had him as an option in your starting rotation.
Oh, my God.
Like, we can criticize Ben Cherington for what he's done and how he spent money on the lineup. I don't know that we can really criticize him all that much for piecing together a starting rotation. Bailey Falter, they saw something in him, and not a lot of people understood it. I banged the table for this is a disastrous decision to have him in the starting rotation at the beginning of the year. And boy, I'm eating crow. Because not only has he been good, he has been a revelation. He cruised through the Cubs on Saturday. And he probably ain't going to be this good all year. But if he's a 4.25, 4.3, 4.4 ERA guy, that's serviceable as a 5th guy in your starting rotation. Do you think the Pirates can be a playoff team? 412-928-9370. Here's a text. Crowley, you're becoming like Romo. You were really good at first, but now you're so predictable. As soon as the Pirates have a good series, we're talking about the big 3, talking playoffs in May. It was the same with Pickett in the preseason, blah, 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 blah. That text brought to you by Egger Snyder & Associates, a personal injury law firm where they always say there's never a fee unless we get money for you. Just to respond to that texter, if you are watching Skenes, Jones, and Keller right now, and you are saying they're still the Pirates, and they stink, I think you're just jaded based on past experience.
Yeah.
These guys are that good. Skenes is only going to get better. And Jared Jones has some room to grow, and he's been outstanding. I think they're going to make the playoffs.